English Live podcast from Speaking with Class. Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to the English Live podcast, your go-to English podcast for learning English and learning how to live with more confidence. I'm Aaron and Evan. Let's be real. How many times you stop yourself from doing something just because you're worried about what people might think? Oh, too many to count. Whether it's speaking English out loud, wearing something different, or just being fully yourself, their invisible opinions can be so heavy. Yeah, it's like living in a cage built from other people's thoughts. But here's the truth. Most of those thoughts, they're not even real. Today's episode is about breaking that pattern. We're going to keep on how to stop caring what people are thinking of you and start showing up as you. We're not talking about become real or careless. We're talking about being free. Free to speak, grow, make mistakes, and still stand tall. And likewise, and back with real English you can reuse. We create free PDF guides with all comprehensions, questions, or grammar so you can grow your mindset and your language skills side by side. You'll find the link in the descriptions. Download it, save it, and use it as a safe space to think, feel, and learn. And don't go anywhere. Charles, we translate at the end vocabulary breakdown. Should help you break down today bold and emotional words you can start using with confidence. Alright, let's dive in. Because it is time to stop living for the ground and start living for you. Couldn't agree more. And it's all started earlier than those moments that teach us to scream ourselves just to fit in. You know, Evan, before we even realize it, we talk to look around for approval. Like in school, raise your hand, give a wrong answer, and suddenly you're in job of the day. That's fear. It lingers. It seeps into adulthood. And for many of us, especially language learners, it's become this invisible wall. Yeah, totally. I remember being in class and answering something in broken English. A few people giggle. It's worse harmless maybe, but it blames something. From that day, I started filtering everything I said. I was trying to sound perfect instead of just being myself. That's the thing. This fear doesn't show up one day. If embedded in it from a young age, they don't even question it anymore. It's like wearing caring about visible grandma's shoulders, constantly whispering what you're to do. And that's grand. Most of them are imaginary. And yet, we listen to them more than we listen to ourselves. And keep quiet when you speak English. It keeps you anxious when you should but just present. English learner, think of your mistakes as typos in the text messages. No one really cares as much as you think. Seriously, you don't stop reading a text because a typo, right? So don't stop yourself from speaking because of more mistakes. And you know what even more freeing? Realizing this next true. People are too cautious enough to be fixed on yours. This was a game changer for me. I used to think everyone noticed when I mispronounced words or paused too long during a sentence. But one day I realized people are preoccupied with themselves, their worries, their insecurities. Exactly. It's like this. We think we are under spotlight, where everyone else is just adjusting with own light. They are not analyzing every move. They are worrying about their own performance. You're not protagonist in story. You're maybe in background present by best. Once I realized that, I took the pressure off. I started experimenting with new phrases. I stumbled through conversations and no one laughed. Most different even knows. When you let go of fears of being watched, your confidence builds quietly. It's like seed I just need a little space. The soil wasn't fear. It's word freedom. So, English learners, if you've been quiet in class or hesitant to speak up, here's the truth. Most people won't even notice if you mess up. But when your courage, speak up, be bold, even just a little. Every time you do, you remind your brain you're okay to be seen. And speak of being seen, sometimes people do say things. They might criticize our actions or point out our mistakes, but here's things we need to remember. Oh, this one hit me hard. For the longest times, I carry about every critique like a premature. Someone once told me, your English is a bit weird, and that echo lived in my head for years. That's painful. But I've been there too. I used to internalize everything people said, especially negative stuff. But I slowly learned what someone says often more about them than about you. Exactly. The judgments are often a projection of our insecurities. Their judgments are often just protections of their own insecurities, their own limited thinking. If someone mocks an accent, it might be because they never had guts to learn a lesson language themselves. Then when you see it that way, it loses its power. You stop reacting with comments, you start owning your voice. For our English learner, your accent, that's not something to hide. That will prove you brave enough to learn a whole new ways of expressing yourself. Where is people rights? Every single word you speak is word. And if someone bothers by it, that's their story, not yours. Ah, yes. And you know what? The moment you stop performing for others, you stop growing yourself. It's why how much energy we waste trying to impress maybe properly and paying attention. When I started caring less about sounding smart and more you actually asking questions, my growth skyrocketed. Real progress came when I gave my mission to sound uncertain, to be curious, to not have a figure out. Totally. I remember staying in a workshop. Everyone noticed like they understood. And when I saw lost, I hesitated to ask, thinking I looked foolish. But then someone else did. And I realized half the room felt the same. That moment, liberating. It's a misconception confidence comes from knowing everything. Nah, it's come from embracing the discomfort, not knowing, and learning into anyway. An English learner, this one for you. Growth doesn't come from hiding your questions. It's come from asking them, even the basic one. Don't hold back just because something says simple. Asking, what does that word mean? Is braver than pretend to understand. Curiosity is your real superpower. And you know the host people back from that kind of growth? The sneaky little like they need to be perfect first. Nope. Perfection is the goal. It's the excuse. Think of it this way. You don't learn to swim by reading about water. You learn by getting wet, by flailing, kicking, swallowing a little water, and that's getting better. Exactly. Perfection sounds nice, but it's paralyzing. It comes to waiting until ready, but that day never comes. Meanwhile, progress is messy, noisy, full of mistakes, and totally worth it. I used to delay speaking English because I want my grammar to be perfect. But ironically, my grammar only improved after I started speaking. Mistakes were the stepping stones. So here's the shift. Don't aim to be flawless. Aim to be fearless enough to begin. Yeah, practice your English before you feel ready. Talk to a friend, leave a voice note, join a small group. This growth is the perfection, is the momentum. The next brings up the truth about confidence. Most people live is something you're born with. It's not. Confidence is a gift. It's a practice. You build it, you strengthen it. The same way your muscle can get stronger at the gym. The more you use it, the more you show up when you need it. Oh yeah. I used to watch confidence people speak English and think, wow, they must have in it them. But they didn't. But I should show up more often. With permanent reps, daily small actions that make confidence there adopt. So don't wait for courage to magically arrive. Curate it once more, one route at a time. Say hi to someone. Join the conversation thread online. Share your thoughts. Even down to one sentence. Believe it or not, confidence grows in the tiny moments. Speak out loud when you read. Record yourself. Comment on the English video. That you are living confidence with. Totally. And when the confidence starts to build, here's the next step. Replacing fears with curiosity. Because fears hold you back. But curiosity, it invites you to grow. It's different between freezing and leading in. Yeah, fear asks, what if I mess up? Curiosity asks, what could I discover? A tiny shift can completely reframe how you perceive every conversation. You go from just every interest. I used to overthink everything sentence before speaking, worry about we silly and make a mistake. But when I start approaching conversations like experiments, things change. I think, let's try in this. Let's see how people respond. And funnily enough, people respond better because I was more present, more real. Exactly. Curiosity softens the pressure. It turns the focus from how do I look to what can I learn. You stop seeing others arrogant and start seeing a formal learning journey. And the more curious you become, the less failures sting. Because now, and even slip up becomes danger, not drama. And here's something simple to try. Next time you speak English, instead of adjusting yourself after work, ask what surprised me or what worked well. That's curiosity in action. And it's more powerful than criticism. Shift the focus from I did I mess up to did I learn? That's where the real world lives. And hey, if you will wonder about words used today, Charlie's got your back. She here to break down few today trigger vocabulary words and expressions, so you can not only understand them, but you stand use them confidence. Charlotte, the mic is yours. Hey friends, it's Charlotte. Welcome to your vocabulary breakdown. Let's unpack some of the powerful words you heard in today's episode. Ready? Let's go. Linger, meaning to stay longer than expected. Example, the scent of fresh coffee lingers in the kitchen even after breakfast. Sip, meaning to flow slowly through small openings. Example, water can seep through crack in the wall in the rain heavily. Giggle, meaning to laugh lightly in silly or nervous way. Example, the chill giggle at a friendly cartoon. Embed, meaning to firmly fix something into another thing. Example, good habit bending themselves in your routine over time. Typo, meaning a small mistake in typing. Example, there was a typo in the final report, but no one noticed. Preoccupied, meaning to fill the mind so much that other things are ignored. Example, worry about the meeting preoccupied his mind all day. Insecurities, meaning lack of confidence or assurance. Example, his insecurity makes him hesitate to speak up. Protagonist, meaning the main character in story or situations. Example, she feels like a protagonist of her own life story. Passerby, meaning someone who passing by casually. Example, a kind passerby helped the old man cross the street. Criticize, meaning to point out faults of mistakes. Example, instead of criticizing, try your helpful suggestions. Critique, meaning to review or analyze something carefully. Example, the teacher asked the student critique each other's essay. Liberate, meaning to set someone free. Example, speaking your mind can liberate your fear. Fail, meaning to move wildly or clumsily. Example, he flapped his arm, he slipped on the ice. Swallow, meaning to make food or drink go down the throat. Example, she slowed nervous before starting her speech. Ironic, meaning Something happening in the opposite way to expected, often immediately. Example, we are running the fire starting cars on fire. Default, meaning the usual or expected choice when your alternative is made. Example, English became his default language after learning the word. Sting, meaning to cover sharp pain on his feeling. Example, his real kindness still sting days later. Slip up, meaning a small mistake or error. Example, forget his homeworks were just a small slip up. That's all for today's breakdown. Remember, the more curious you are about new words, the more confident you become using them. Back to you, Erin and Evan. Thanks, Charlotte, for always making the tricky words feel a little less scary. Yes, seriously. It's like having a secret weapon for learning English. And speaking of power tool, today's episode gave you even one aha moment. Don't just keep in your head, put it into practice. Absolutely. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to show up, speak up, and live a little louder without worrying about invisible ground. We're proud of you every step you're taking, and we'll be right here cheering on your ability to live. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode in the Live Podcast.